The Bulldogs make it to the second round of the playoffs after beating George County last week, 41-39. This week, they have a rematch with West Jones, the Mustangs of West Jones, who are undefeated this year. This is the South 78 Football Show presented by CPA Realty. I'm Trellis Williams, right here with me, of course, Coach Chris Thigpen of the Terry Bulldogs. The Bulldogs got a big win, and around the state of Mississippi, what people would consider an upset win, a 41-39 win on the road. And, Coach, it was a huge win, obviously. A big playoff win for you and for your guys. Just kind of talk about what the vibe was with your team after that ball game.
Man, everybody was on an emotional high.
Yeah.
As you can imagine. But the key. It's been 17 years since our football team or program has won a playoff game, and 17 years ago they were 4A. We're 6A now, so
yeah,
our school has grown in size. So that means you play tougher teams. You play the larger schools, tougher teams,
yeah.
and maybe that had something to do with the drought that we had. But, as I said, we've been working towards, getting into the playoffs, and not only getting into the playoffs, but eventually becoming a contender in the playoffs. And going on the road is tough in the playoffs. You really have to play well, maybe have some luck, and some other things go your way, especially when you're playing really good teams in the playoffs.
So, obviously, and I know he's getting a lot of recognition this week, R.J. Hall accounted for 6 touchdowns, all 6 touchdowns for your team. Of course, you have to say, this is a complete team effort win. But he was able to finish on 6 of them with 2 kickoff returns and an interception back for a touchdown, 2 receiving touchdowns and a rushing touchdown. Just kind of talk about how amazing that performance was, and just generally speaking there.
That may be the best performance I've seen on one of my teams playing or coaching in my whole career. To score 6 touchdowns in a playoff game, not a regular season game versus an inferior opponent versus a really good team.
Yeah.
To just keep upping your level of play was really, really amazing performance by him. And, of course, every time he made a play, that just gave our whole team just a little bit more energy, just a little bit more belief. And it was just enough to finish off those guys in Lucedale. When he scored his last touchdown, we kind of thought something was really wrong with him when he stretched out in the end zone. But, the kid ran so hard, man, he had a cramp, but he was okay. And he's been Player of the Week for a number of different publications, and so rightfully so, he earned that recognition.
For sure. And another thing too is that probably a lot of Bulldogs fans watching that game probably just saw that your team was operating using the size more, a little bit more with your quarterback. Right. Your big quarterback, you're able to utilize that advantage, and your offensive line, defensive line, both of those. Which your defensive line, of course, they've been doing it all year. But you're able to utilize that offensive line and your size. Just kind of talk about that a little bit.
I was very proud of our offensive line. They really, started to gel. I told you before the game, and probably even on this show the week of, our offensive line had to play a big role in, helping us, run the football and protecting, our quarterback. They did a good job of that. But also our quarterback, that was one of the things that we wanted to focus on going into the game. How they played their defense, we knew if we got the quarterback involved in the run game, that would be to our advantage. And Ashton had some really good, tough runs. We got Rondé Baker back. He's an explosive back.
Yeah.
He had some explosive runs, and so that kind of helped us out offensively, without a doubt. That helped us out. And then, of course, coming out in the second half and taking the opening kickoff, and then, marching down the field on offense to score a touchdown, that was really important in the second half.
Yeah, that was a big one, that first drive of the second half. Now, turning the attention to this upcoming week, you have a rematch with West Jones. Obviously, last time, 2-0 loss to West Jones. West Jones is undefeated this year so far, 11-0. That's the closest game they've played.
Right.
Was the game against you guys, the 2-0 win. And you're talking about a lot of things not going our way to get that get that win there, including a pick six that was called
right.
back.
That's
I mean,
right.
you're talking about this is just very close game, and you know that. I mean, you know that those guys are ready to. They want to get their first undefeated season of
Right.
their history. This is their fourth 11-0 start that they've ever had. So just kind of talk about the stakes going down there to Mustang Field to take on West Jones.
Well, it's the game after Hattiesburg. We said if we took care of business and kept playing each week, we'll probably have an opportunity to play them again. And we got that opportunity. When I talked to their coaches, they weren't pleased with how close the game was. They thought, they should have stretched it out or however, whatever. But I like the way we match up with them. We match up well with that team. And in the playoffs, even in football, I know they say it a lot in basketball, even in football, it can possibly come down to matchups. George County past game, they threw for more yards than probably anybody on us the whole season, but they had an all-world quarterback that could extend plays, and he was really accurate with the football. Well, West Jones has a sophomore quarterback, and he does a really good job in their offense. And so, but the way our guys match up with their receivers, I really like that matchup. I like how our defensive line matches up with their offensive line and their backs. And so, we got to go out and play the game. The game will be played, and we got to be ready to play and play well. I told the guys just because we played them close last time doesn't mean anything. Wash that out your head. That doesn't mean it's going to be a close game. And so it could be a game similar to George County where we're going back and forth. But if that's the case, we got to be ready to play that type of game.
Absolutely, and you kind of mentioned their West Jones' quarterback, I do believe, Kamari and Lindsay. Is that who you're referring to? He's a sophomore quarterback there. And how much do you think experience is going to come down here? Because, I mean, you have a senior quarterback on your side. Also, their coach, first-year coach at West Jones, of course, he coached for a stint at South Jones before being at West Jones now. Just how much do you think experience might come down? I mean, now they've won every game they've played this year, so it's kind of hard to really put that in.
He's playing with confidence. And, they're undefeated, so they're playing with a lot of confidence. And when you have a defense the way they have, you just need to go out and not mess it up. But we're going to try to force them to do some things that they don't really want to do offensively, and I think that's what you're trying to do in the playoffs. You're trying to play to your strengths, and you're trying to minimize the other team's strengths. And so you want to make them do what they don't want to do. If they like playing right-handed, you want to make them play left-handed. And so, it could come down to experience and decision-making. And, the last time we played them, he threw us a ball that we picked and went the other way. And so, we're going to definitely try to make him uncomfortable, when he's back there. And, and try to exploit their defense. Their defense is solid, but, we got some guys on the outside that got behind them, and we missed some balls where we got behind them twice that could have been touchdowns. And so, that's something we definitely been practicing on this week in practice, trying to, push the ball down the field when we have an opportunity, but also working on some of our underneath throws to get people like RJ and Nick Rogers the ball in space.
Yeah, just like you're saying, their defense has been very good this year, only allowing 5 points a game this season with 4 shutouts. In this season, but they have had a great year. But okay, so now big question here: you have your fan base. Your fan base was into last week's win. Obviously, that you're talking about. You're getting the excitement going on at the school. Now you have a game that's a little bit closer than last week's game. You have 2.5 hours. Now you got an hour and a half.
All right.
You think you might be able to get some more Terry Bulldog fans out?
Yeah, I think we'll get more out there. Someone just asked me, "Are we going to play any game a little closer?" I said, "Well, this may be as close as it'll get,
Yeah.
Because even if we advance, we could go to Pascagoula or we could go to Picayune.
Yeah, it's not any closer.
So thank God for the TSJW Network bringing coverage, But, yeah, I think our fans will come out. And I thought we had a decent crowd the first time we played them. But, we'll have our band there. We'll have our cheer there.
Yeah.
they do a great job, as I said before, of setting the atmosphere for our players. And, we want them to be a part of it. And so, it's going to be here soon. We all been thinking about the game, and this is kind of what I told the players today. We've came a long way since I've taken over as head coach. The first year I was head coach, I took Amari and Bailey and some of the other guys that have since graduated. I took them to the state championship game because I told them, I want you guys to see this atmosphere, feel what it's like to, be in this type of game, because eventually one day we want to be playing in a stadium like this for a state championship.
Absolutely. Folks, thank you for joining us. We got some more interviews coming right up. This is the South 78 Football Show. We are back right here on the South 78 Football Show. Of course, I'm Trellis Williams right here with me. Caleb McDaniel's the kicker for the Terry Bulldogs football team. And Caleb, man, I know that soccer's is your sport as well.
Yes, sir.
Just kind of talk about the transition to being the kicker here at Terry.
Well, like, going into football, I thought it was going to be, pretty hard. But, as I developed, it got pretty easy over time. And I got comfortable real quick with it.
Yeah, for sure. And, this year you do the kickoff duties, and every now and then you'll kick some extra points. But,
yes, sir.
But you also were able to get the punting duties as well, which you didn't have for the first half of the season. You've gotten that in the second half of the season.
Yes,
and you've done a very good job with it. Just kind of talk about what's your favorite part. You like doing the kickoffs or the punts better?
I say kickoff, but definitely punt.
Yeah.
It done got better over time.
Yeah. So and I've kind of I play a little bit of soccer in my day, and so I kind of know that I'm sure that's just different. I'm sure it's
Yes,
just
sir.
different. Just kind of talk about the similarities because obviously they want soccer players kicking the football for a
Yes,
reason,
sir.
but also talk about the differences.
All right, so the difference would be, definitely the ball sizes. Because, it's more circular with soccer than you got the funny shape football.
Yeah.
But it's also, similar, too, because, you can punt the football the same you punt the soccer ball.
Yeah, absolutely. So now, big win for you guys last week,
Yes,
winning
sir.
the first round of the playoffs. Now you're taking on West Jones. Man, what are your thoughts about your team's chances heading down to West Jones?
I think we got a big chance. We definitely going to put it on them this time and score more and execute on offense.
Absolutely, man. Caleb, I appreciate you joining us
Thanks.
for sure. All right, folks, hello, and welcome back to the Raising Canes here in Byron, Mississippi. I'm Trellis Williams right here with me, JaCaan Washington, and, of course, you remember who he is. He graduated from Terry High School last season on that football team, and now you're helping coach. You're helping coach there. You're also helping do some coaching there at Mississippi Gulf Coast as well. Of course, when you started off coming out of high school, you were recruited to play football, and you decided to go ahead and get started with your coaching career. Man, just talk about that decision that you made there to pursue the coaching route.
Well, coming out of high school, I always knew that this was the end goal for me. This was something that I wanted to do. Back dating to when I was in, playing just small ball, this have always been something that I wanted to do. So many coaches have made it just a huge, I guess you would say, change the way that I think about life, and just molded me. And so I just wanted to be there for somebody else.
Absolutely, and man, so just kind of talk about your experiences this year. So you're helping here at Terry with Coach Thigpen. You're also helping there at Mississippi Gulf Coast. Just talk about the differences there that you've seen between that high school game and that college game.
To be honest, it's a huge difference, and just a style of play. College is a business. I'm talking about day in, day out.
Yeah.
you're working. Because it's people's jobs and life. Depend on your production. High school, it's raw. This is probably the most purest form that you'll get of football, because you still among the school. It's not a whole lot of pressure like it is in college.
Yeah, for sure. And kind of just so man, turning the attention to this football season, big win last week. Defeating George County on the road in the first round of the playoffs, advancing to the second round, taking on West Jones, a team that you guys lost 2-0 earlier in the season. Just kind of preview that game for us.
Man, I feel like, big win last week. R.J. Hall showed up big for us. But I feel like that we are more put together going into this game as we was the first time we played them, especially on the offense. I feel like we have tweaked some things to get something going on their side of the ball, and I feel like that our defense have always been there. I guess we have been known lately to play a lights-out defense, so
Absolutely. Yeah.
all we got to do is just keep on driving the ball, and just wait on something to break on offense.
Absolutely, man. JaCaan, appreciate you joining us for sure.
Thank you.
And, folks, that'll wrap up the South 78 football show. I'm Trellis Williams, and this week, of course, the Terry Bulldogs head down to Laurel, Mississippi to Mustang Field to take on the West Jones Mustangs. They are undefeated on the season. The Bulldogs, and they're in the same region, and they played each other earlier. West Jones won that ball game 2-0, so it should be a good one. It'll be live on the TSJW Network YouTube channel. If you can make it down there, be sure to make it down there and wear your maroon and white. And, folks, we appreciate you joining us. This is TSJW Network coverage of Terry Bulldogs football. This is the South 78 football show. I'm Trellis Williams. We out.